interesting thing about left brain and right brain, and you can watch this with people on television, pretty much, I'm sure there's always exceptions to everything, but pretty much when people are telling, you can't lie with your right brain. Your right brain is a visual thing. It functions through what is and through the imagery or the metaphor that it's creating. So it's not really lying. We lie best when we speak. They used to say one of the things that humanity did as they developed the intelligence and the biological capacity to talk, one of the first things they learned to do was to lie. Because they could trick each other, they could fool each other, they could misdirect people. And part of the journey of our maturity is to find ways not to lie. I understand, I used to say, you know, I'm not being a purist about this like in an ideological way, because, for instance, if you were a Jew in Nazi Germany, lie and get out, you know. So there are correct times to lie. But that's usually because you're in an insane situation. Healthiness loves the truth, even if it's difficult. And there is receptivity is built in when there is kindness. When the intuitive mind is more mature and allowed to function, and the linear mind is more mature and isn't just being judgmental, but is opening to serve, actually, the comprehension of reality. So this thing, when you watch television, if you wonder if somebody's lying, is not that you can be looking to the left, which is right brain, and be telling, you're thinking of the imagery of it. So when somebody's recounting a story and they're looking to the left, they're using their right brain and they are remembering the images. When people are telling a story and they're looking to the right, they're using their left brain and they're remembering a story like they read it, like a script. Is not the same. It's not saying they are lying, but they can be lying. And almost never are people lying, at least during the portion of what they're saying when they're looking that way. And it's just an interesting thing, because when, like right now, I start to think, I'm starting to remember stories which are rooted in feelings, experiences, and images. And that's how you tell the story. You describe the image and you translate it over to the words. And if you're using both hemispheres, you will be telling the story with feeling, with the emotion sent. And the interesting thing about that is, and I learned this during workshops, so I know this is a fact, and a lot of people go, ooh, 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 but I would tell stories that were too complex or too long to tell the whole details at the workshop. But I could visualize them as I was telling the story and pick out the parts I could say. After the workshop, people would come and recount the parts I didn't say. And that happened over and over and over. So I know that people get more than they know. So they just imagine, you know, if I say apple, if I think of a red one or a green one, influences what one you see. Unfortunately, when I said that, I first saw red, then I saw green, because I was thinking red, green, each time I said it. But because I try to train myself to have my thoughts and my feelings aligned with my words. I believe that's part of becoming conscious. It's also part of becoming trustworthy. It's part of being reliable. And it's part of integrity, because integrity means whole. It means you have all your parts. So when you're thinking with your whole brain, and you're aligning what you feel and know with your words, and you're not trying to deceive people, quite the contrary, even in certain difficult situations, you're trying to explain nuances that can't be said. This is very valuable, and this is part of our intelligence that our evolutionary elite is struggling to be born into, and that the whole world, every human being on the planet, right now, is really busy working internally, trying to mature this. And so even the problems we have in life, not even, especially the problems we have in life, are the things that are setting us up to make big jumps to understand how to do that.